don't move. If you are ever pulled over and you notice the officer touch the back of your car before walking up to your window, I need you to pay close attention. That small gesture may look harmless. It may look like the officer is just steadying themselves for a second. But in many traffic stops, that touch is not random. I'm Agent Reyes, and I've made that walk toward a driver's window more times than I can count. I've been the officer behind the vehicle, watching the hands, watching the movement, reading the energy inside the car before the first word is ever spoken. And I can tell you this, what you do in those first few seconds can change the entire tone of the stop. The thing is that most drivers never even think about it. They see the flashing lights, their heart jumps, they pull over, they start panicking. Then when they hear that light tap on the back of the car, they turn around, reach for their wallet, open the glove box, move things around, or try to look prepared. That is exactly where the problem begins, because from the officer's point of view, those movements matter. When an officer approaches a stopped vehicle, they do not know who is inside. They do not know if the driver is nervous, angry, impaired, scared, hiding something, or reaching for something dangerous. Every traffic stop carries uncertainty, and uncertainty makes officers pay attention to small details most people never notice. That touch on the taillight can serve a couple of purposes. One reason is documentation. By touching the back of the vehicle, an officer may leave a fingerprint on the car. If something goes wrong during the stop, that mark can help connect the officer to that vehicle. It can show that contact happened. It can confirm that the stop took place. It sounds old school, and in some places, technology has changed how stops are documented. But the habit still exists, and for many officers, it became part of the routine early in training. The second reason is observation. That moment gives the officer a few extra seconds to watch what is happening inside the car before they get to the window. They are looking for movement. Is the driver reaching under the seat? Is a passenger leaning forward? Is someone stuffing something into the center console? Is somebody turning around too quickly? You may know you are only looking for your license. The officer does not know that yet. And that is the part most drivers misunderstand. You may be innocent. You may have nothing illegal in the car. You may simply be nervous because nobody enjoys seeing police lights in the rearview mirror. But nervous movement can look suspicious. A quick reach can look like a threat. A sudden turn can make the officer tense before the conversation even begins. So when you hear that touch on the back of your vehicle, the smartest thing you can do is simple. Stay still. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Keep your back against the seat. Look forward. Do not turn around suddenly. Do not reach for your wallet. Do not start moving things. Do not try to get ready before the officer asks you for anything. Just stay calm and keep your hands visible. That one decision tells the officer something important before you even speak. It says, I am not reaching for anything, I am not hiding, and I am not escalating this. And believe me, that matters. A calm driver with visible hands is easier to approach than a driver who is twisting around, digging through compartments, or moving quickly while the officer is still behind the vehicle. Now, there's something else you need to understand, especially during nighttime stops or in areas with heavy police activity. The officer at your window may not be the only one watching you. If there are two officers on the stop, one may approach the driver's side while the other stays back or moves along a different angle. That second officer is not just standing there doing nothing. Their job is to observe, cover, and watch what the first officer cannot see clearly. They may be looking at the passenger side. They may be checking the back seat. They may be watching the hands of everyone in the vehicle. So do not assume that just because one officer is at your window, nobody else is paying attention. From the second the police lights come on behind you until the second you are told you can leave, your movements should be slow, visible, and predictable. That is the key word, predictable. If you need to get your license, say it before you move. Officer, my license is in my wallet. I'm going to reach for it now. If your registration is in the glove box, say that first. Officer, my registration is in the glove compartment. May I get it? Then move slowly. No sudden reaching, no twisting, no digging around like you were trying to hide something. When officers know what you are about to do, the tension drops. When your hands stay visible, the tension drops. When your voice stays calm, the entire interaction has a better chance of staying under control. But staying calm does not mean you have to answer every question. That is another mistake people make. They think cooperation means explaining everything. The officer says, "Where are you headed?" And suddenly the driver gives a full story. I'm coming from work. I live nearby. I haven't been drinking. This is my car. I'm just trying to get home. Now pause right there. Nobody asked for half of that. But the driver is nervous, so they start talking. They think if they explain enough, the officer will relax. Sometimes that happens. But sometimes extra information creates extra questions. You mentioned you're coming from work. Now the officer may ask where you work. You mentioned you have not been drinking. Now the officer may start paying closer attention to whether alcohol is involved. You mentioned the car belongs to you. Now the officer may start checking ownership details more closely. The point is not that you should be rude. The point is that you should not talk yourself into a longer stop. During a traffic stop, you should provide the documents required for the stop: your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance. Do it calmly, do it respectfully, but do not feel pressured to explain your entire night. If the officer asks questions that are not directly related to the documents, like where you are coming from, where you're going, who you know in the area, or what you have in the trunk, you can respond calmly. Officer, with respect, I prefer not to answer questions about my travel. Here are my documents. Say it like a normal person, not angry, not sarcastic, not aggressive, just calm, because your tone matters. I've seen drivers say the right words in the wrong tone and turn a simple conversation into a confrontation. You do not want that. You want to be clear, respectful, and controlled. Now let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes drivers make during traffic stops: consent searches. An officer may ask, "Do you mind if I take a look inside the vehicle?" And many drivers say yes because they are scared that saying no will make them look guilty. But understand this: giving permission for a search does not prove you are innocent. It simply gives permission for the search. And once that search begins, the situation is no longer simple. Maybe there is a tool in the backseat from work. Maybe there is medication outside the original bottle. Maybe a friend left something in your car. Maybe there is something you forgot was even there. Outside of a search, it may never become an issue. Inside a search, everything becomes a question. So if an officer asks to search your vehicle and there is no warrant, the response should be simple: I do not consent to a search of the vehicle, officer. That is one sentence. Say it calmly. Do not argue. Do not explain. Do not say, I know my rights, like you are trying to provoke someone. Just make your position clear. I do not consent to a search of the vehicle, officer. Now, can the situation still continue depending on what the officer has observed? Yes. A lot depends on the circumstances, but you should not give consent just because you feel uncomfortable. Pressure makes people give up choices they did not have to give up. And traffic stops are full of pressure, especially at night. Let me paint the picture. It is around 11 p.m. You are driving down a road you know well. Suddenly, red and blue lights flash behind you. You pull over safely. You lower the window halfway. You keep the engine on unless instructed otherwise. Your hands go to the steering wheel. Then you hear it, the tap. The officer touches the back of the car. You do not turn around. You do not reach. You do not grab your wallet. You keep your hands where they can be seen. The officer walks up and says, "Good evening, license and registration." You answer calmly, "Good evening, officer. Yes, my license is in my wallet and my registration is in the glove box. I'm going to get them now." You move slowly. You hand over the documents. The officer shines a light inside the car and asks, "Where are you headed this late?" You take 1 second. You do not rush. You do not panic. Then you say, "Officer, with respect, I prefer not to answer questions about my travel. Here are my documents." The officer looks at you and asks, "Why don't you want to answer?" You keep the same tone. "No problem, officer. I'm just providing the documents for the stop." Then the officer asks, "Do you mind if I search the vehicle?" You respond, "I do not consent to a search of the vehicle, officer." Then you stay quiet. No nervous laugh. No extra explanation. No, I don't have anything anyway. No, you can check if you want. Just silence. Eventually, the officer returns your documents and says, "You're free to go." You say, "Thank you, officer. Have a good night." Then you leave calmly. That is how a traffic stop can stay controlled. Not because you argued, not because you tried to outsmart anyone, not because you were rude, but because you understood the moment. You kept your hands visible. You moved slowly. You gave the required documents. You did not volunteer unnecessary information. And you did not give consent to something you did not want to authorize. That is the difference between being nervous and being prepared. Now, let's go back to that first second. The moment the officer touches the taillight, that second matters because it is the beginning of the officer's read on you. If you move suddenly, it can create tension. If you start explaining before anyone asks a question, it can create suspicion. If you consent to a search just because you are afraid, it can create complications. But if you stay calm, visible, and respectful, you give yourself the best chance of keeping the stop from becoming something bigger than it has to be. I learned this after spending many nights on the road. Most officers want the stop to end safely. Most drivers want the same thing. The problem usually begins when fear takes over and people start making quick, nervous decisions. So remember this: when the lights come on, pull over safely. When you stop, keep your hands visible. When you hear the officer touch the back of the car, do not move. When the officer asks for documents, explain your movement before reaching. When the officer asks where you are going, you can politely decline to answer questions about your travel. When the officer asks to search your car, you can say, "I do not consent to a search of the vehicle, officer." Keep your voice steady, keep your hands visible, keep the situation controlled, because in a traffic stop, your calm is not weakness, your silence is not disrespect, and knowing your boundaries is not a crime, it is preparation. If you have ever noticed an officer touch your taillight during a traffic stop, I want to hear about it. What happened? Did you know what it meant at the time? Did the stop stay calm, or did it turn into something more serious? Drop your experience in the comments and tell me what city you are watching from. Agent Reyes here. Stay alert, stay respectful, and when those lights appear behind you, remember, the first thing you do can set the tone for everything that happens next.